agency ranking, utility or futility. Now, there have been a lot of questions that have already come in as to what exactly do we mean by agency ranking, how does it work. I think all that will be answered. And let me first introduce you to the panel over here, our guests who have come in. There is my good friend Sunil Gupta, who is not only an advertising person, he's been I would say a Thomson guy, who has written also a book called Living on the Ad Age. And the story of which is the cover says JWT or Jhandewalan and Thomson. That's Sunil. And Sunil and I have a very interesting story. We are the only two people in the whole world ever to have been driven up to Puri, a beach, and not set our eyes on the water and not even gone into the temple. That is, I think, one unique record that we have. So Sunil now runs and he heads this thing of a company called Apprise, about which he'll be telling us a little more. Then I have my friend Alok Lal, who is the advertising head executive director of McCann. And Alok and I, of course, again go back a very long time, because Alok and I used to work in a circus, is a better way of putting it. Very many, that was I think way back in 91 or 92.
I think I just started.
Yeah, that's right. He had just started and I came in from Kolkata, and now Alok is the Bada Saab, with at least a big bunch of hair in your back. Then there is Rajiv Karwal, who is on the Wikipedia. And it says that he started off by bringing in LG. He's credited for having brought in LG into India. And there is a Cayman Island reference to that, but that we shall say.
No, Canary Islands.
Canary Islands. Okay, it's not Cayman. I think every time you read an island,
be very careful.
Yeah, Canary Island. And then, of course,
very soon.
Then, of course, he was a CEO of Electrolux Kelvinator and then Reliance Retail. And now he has on his own since 2007, Rajiv, Milagro. Well, what they do is very simple. If you all have been, like a lot of us, into comic books of yesteryears, you would find, robos cleaning your house and robos coming and watching your machine. Well, he actually makes them. Those are those robotic, I don't know what you call them, Rajiv, but...
floor cleaning robots.
Yeah, they are the floor cleaning robots and all that. That's happened. And then our host, whom I'll come to the end, because he and I actually go back the longest, having actually played gully cricket when we were just about getting into advertising. And then we have been together in a lot of very fanciful situations, first in Clarion and then with Auntie Tara. In case many of you don't know who she is, we are talking about Tara Sena. And he now heads BEI Confluence, and he is actually the kind of culprit who started this discussion today, because he has written an article on how the agency ranking should be or what should happen or should not happen. And that made a lot of people say, okay, can we talk about it as a part of our ad series? So, but before I take you over to Taposh to explain and start this off, and then Sunil will take on how this whole thing is audited today. That's what you are doing, I guess, Apprise. Yeah. I just wanted to introduce two young colleagues over here. That's Abhishek. Abhishek, if you can, Abhishek is the executive director of BEI Confluence. And
I'm Amar, I'm the copy head in BEI Confluence.
So we have two youngsters from the next generation also joining in to throw in their perspectives. So with that, can we start?
Oh yes.
We have to finish off in time.
Yes.
And please, once in a while, do punch in and make me feel good that people are watching. Otherwise, we'll all feel very bad. Anyway, this will be up on YouTube. Taposh, all yours.
Well, I basically, to kill some spare time I had written an article on agency rankings, because I have always been very quizzed by this whole factor of agency rankings. Now, I had, thankfully, by coincidence, maintained a few old copies of the A&M rankings, which dated back to 2001, 2 or something like that. Then there was, I think, a period of lull. A&M died its natural death. All the magazines with hard copies in this line of advertising and marketing died their natural death, and the portals and websites took over. Now, Exchange for Media, if I recall, and then AFAX came in, followed by few other portals. None of them dared to touch, because I once had a chat with Anurag Batra many years back that why don't you do this, since He said, I would not dare to stir up a hornet's nest by giving agency rankings. And I am not sure about the methodology, how to do it. Therefore, and now that for last few years, I think about 5 years, brand equity is doing this agency ranking based on clear perceptual terms. What has happened is that from the A&M days where it was purely gross revenue, which I won't waste time explaining what gross revenue is. It is basically the net revenue, gross billing and net revenue. Net revenue multiplied by 6.67, am I right? That
70, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It converts into gross revenue. From a completely mathematical model, you swung totally 180 to the other end, which is completely perceptual now. I mean, brand equity has employed a very eminent research agency, AC Nielsen. They've been doing it for many years. I have no aspersions. However, the sample sizes of 170, 180, done totally online. Therefore, I had questioned these methodologies. Now, obviously, I've also faced a lot of criticism from my friends. I have also got a lot of applause. Now, it is therefore swinging with, even this afternoon, I had a nasty exchange with a colleague, with ex-colleague of mine,
Alright.
Arun Chaudhary, who thinks this is absolute rubbish, but then it's all up on Facebook. It's good to have discussions and debates and controversies. So with that perspective, and I want to throw it out, because I believe we have swung 180, and neither of the methodologies, whether it was completely turnover and gross net revenue gross billing based, to a completely perceptual model. Ultimately, if we can end up by at least in this panel saying that what are the, and the board is open, what are the points that should be covered for future ranking, it would be a delight for all of us. I mean, we'll guide the industry. In fact, this issue has also been discussed at the 3 Years of I executive committee meeting a couple of years back when I used to be representing the North. But then after that, also nobody was able to come up with what I call a robust methodology to have these rankings done. Therefore, it again died a death there. It's good to at times pick up skeletons from the grave as we are doing now and discussing a subject.
Sure.
Actually, I don't want to talk so much about methodology. I mean, you can discuss methodology till you're blue in the face. But I will talk a little bit about it later because there is something that I was personally involved in or asked to be to participate in. And I found so many anomalies in it that I found myself writing back emails saying, when I go through this is what's happening. We'll come to that. First of all, let's go back to that very basic question because I think we must become seminal about it. Utility of utility, okay? And I'll start with the agencies first because Alok is here representing McCann. By the way, congratulations for winning this FEs at the latest awards. But there you are. There you are. No, however, there are two types of rankings, okay? One is what we talk about effectiveness, which is coming now. In those days, it wasn't there. It was purely size. And that too, I'll give you a small story. When this thing started out, I remember this whole thing used to be, should we include IMRB revenue in HTA revenue or should we not?
Absolutely.
Right? And the whole point was IMRB is a part, that was what Mike Khanna said, that's right, whole revenue, and that's why Linta has dropped out. And if you also remember, there was a time, or there was one occasion, where Lintas came up with this ad with all their employees standing in the numeral 1,
Yeah.
we're number 1. So my question to you is, how does this actually help you in terms of 3 or 4 things? One is getting new business, B, retaining business, retaining people, because that is a very critical thing, right? And being able to ensure that the way that you are developing as an agency is actually helping your brands and your clients to be able to do better. Because today, it's a vastly different universe from what it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago because of so many technological interventions that have come in. How do you find this? Because everybody participates in these, right? And it's not that anybody, I mean, I won't come to the creative part now because we'll talk about that later and we'll talk about the problems there later. But in things like FEs, which to my mind, I think are important because eventually we want to talk about, we've always discussed and debated, does brand communication actually work, right? And that is the reason why we have been in this business. You have employed agencies, we have worked together, Rajiv. So Alok, give us your perspective on the way that you look at entering these. Do you enter anything that comes by? Do you actually weed out the ones that you think actually don't make too much sense? And what has that actually resulted in for you?
To say this really in a short way, I think they're hugely important. Purely from creating an environment where people want to work, people want to belong. Advertising is a business of affinity. You know, I was in Thompson almost all my life, and now I'm here. It's the only 2-3 jobs that I've done. Because, and in a, you know, agencies do a really bad job of creating brands of themselves. If you look at, there's nothing spectacular about a full service agency today. Everybody's a full service agency, right? So how do you differentiate yourself? And whilst we might go out and tell brands that positioning is about sacrifice, but agencies are almost like a restaurant which are serving Italian, Chinese, chola bhatura, everything, right? It's a full menu. So you don't really position yourself. So in this world of sameness, I think rankings matter and bring in some differentiation into the agency world. What you enter, where you enter, really depends on how hungry you are for it. For example, we as policy only enter FEs and CAN. We enter, when I say FEs, we enter the India FEs chapter, the APAC FEs chapter, and then there's another effectiveness award called the APPEs out of Singapore. These are the only 3 or 4 awards that we enter. We don't enter Goa Fest, we don't enter...
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to be coming to that Alok in a while.
Yeah. We don't enter them because in this, you know, where margins are sort of thin and you're always sort of going after revenue, entering awards is an expensive business and is a hit on the bottom line. It's not cheap to enter awards. So you need to be very sort of discerning on where you want to enter and what matters. FEs to my mind matters because it's talking about effectiveness. It is purely based on, this is the intervention that we did from a marketing perspective. This is how it resulted in terms of share or penetration or whatever that marketing objective was. And to that extent, you're saying that, you know, I'm not only a creative agency, I'm also a brand consultant kind of a company. So yeah, to cut it short, yes, it works for us.
It works for you.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this particular point rather. Rajiv, now you have been on the other side, if I might use that word, right? We always say clients come first, right? Ingrained in us when we joined. And we have worked together. We've had the privilege and opportunity of working together. So you worked with different agencies. And I remember that you actually came to us or asked us to come when you were in Philips and you know, we worked together at that point in time. What is it that you looked for? Did these rankings really matter to you? What was it, just the quality of work that you saw in the media at that point of time? Was it word of mouth, previous experience, previous bad experience with some agencies? How did you select? Did the rankings ever play a role in the way that you looked at selecting your agency?
Never. If I trace back my career from Unida, if you remember, Unida, we went to Avenues, Gautam Rakshay.
Yes.
And
it was famous.
it was famous, you know, what work they churned out was purely because, you know, of the passion they brought.
If I might interrupt, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think the work they brought out and you bought.
Yes.
I think that is critical.
Yes.
And I'm going to come to that point
Yeah.
because they could have presented that to you, you could have thrown it out of the window and said,
Yeah.
what are you doing over here? So
Yeah.
we'll come back to that, but please
Yeah.
continue. Yeah.
So, you know, and till the time I was there, from almost 1984 till 1992, Avenues continued. We never had a second backup agency. I went abroad, came back, and you know, we started LG. At that time, you know, one of the Korean, you know, managing directors, he had, you know, brought in Lintas at that time. And when I came on board, you know, in one evening, the entire strategy which Lintas had presented was turned upside down. I remember Preet and Santosh Sood and, you know, all these guys there, and but you know, the way I wanted to look at it, you know, was very, very different. And marketing and HR, you know, are very, very you know, region specific, country specific, and you know, nobody coming from outside will be able to understand what will catch the pulse of an Indian. You know, is, you know, until unless a Korean has become, you know, almost an Indian over,
Or vice versa.
or vice versa, right? So you know, so very quickly, what I did was that I called for a pitch, and we brought in capital at that time, you know, and capital, Sunil Sachdeva and Prasad,
Yeah,
you know,
Prasad.
and they had, I think at that point in time, Maruti, which was,
Yes.
you know, beginning for them, and you know what it did was that suddenly we got a very good team from Lintas. And we also had a very passionate team, you know, and Sunil, if you all, you know him, he's also a very passionate guy, and, you know, he had worked on Foursquare at that time, and, you know, his thing. And, you know, even within Lintas, after some time, although it was an agency which had tremendous success record and things like that, I became very, very particular that, you know, it is this creative guy, this media planner, this copywriter, you know, so one had to choose to. So when you got into the detail, you understood very quickly that not every person can be in sync with what the brand wants. So to me, ranking at that point in time did not matter at all. What mattered to me was who was living my brand. I always have considered advertising agencies an extension of a client. You know, it's like the extension of your marketing arm. So, you know, and then there are other examples, Philips, you know,
Yeah.
that, you know, and those discussions, if you remember, we were stuck with Euro RSCG because it was a global mandate.
Correct.
And, you know, I told you, it took me almost a year.
Yes.
And I said, I'm not happy with the work at all, Sunil, give me some time. And I presented my case. It took, and we were the only exception, you know,
That's right. It took us a long time till you got,
yeah.
you know, out
So
of that.
to me, you know,
Yeah.
what I'm telling you today, you know, that the ranking does not matter. Frankly, it doesn't matter. What matters to me is the creativity and the people who are put on my account, and whether they are living my brand or not.
Yeah, in fact, you know, it's a very interesting point that you made, because I went through that when I was with HA here in Delhi, in the period that we worked together. And this whole thing about the fact that you worked with agencies like Avenue,
Yeah.
which were quote unquote smaller
Yeah.
agencies compared to the Thompsons and the Lintas and so on and so forth. And you found people over there who were able to understand your brands.
Yeah.
Alok, I don't know whether you remember this, but when we were working together in HTA, SWAT was.
Yes.
And we made this huge page. And I eventually, this guy, I still remember Peter Crown, he was the regional head, and he wrote to me, he called me from Switzerland, and he said, you know, we really like what you're doing, but you're too big for us. This is the Swatch group. The Swatch group is saying, HTA Delhi, you're too big for us. So that set me back. I said, hello, hang on a second. What do you mean you know, we'll be lost in you got this and you got. So I said, you know, if that is, every client is going to tell us that, then we'll have no clients left, right? So it's my job to do that. So I actually wrote, in those days there were no computers, by the way, I actually wrote, or got my secretary to type out, a 6-page letter, which I faxed to him, explaining exactly why, how, and what, and eventually got the account. Has that ever been the part, and he said, oh, you're very good, you're very big. That's one part of my question, I know. But you know, we won't get the attention that we're seeking, number one. Number two, today you won Effie's, right? The Agency of the Year. You don't win it next year, suppose, hypothetically. There are many agencies, right? Is there a backlash? Is it a double-edged sword saying, hey, listen, what's happened to you guys, right? You won last year, but you haven't won this year. Something gone wrong? You're not as good as you were? Does it ever come up, or is it sort of, people don't talk about that?
Well, it does come up. Thankfully, we won it now. This is the second time we've consecutively won it. We won it last year as well. I'm hoping we'll do a hat trick, but you never know. But having said that, it's almost like on that day, how did you play?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
It
Right.
almost boils
Absolutely.
down to that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that the players are bad or they're not talented or whatever. It's one of those things. Next year there might be another guy who played better than us, you know, and through the year. Uh, on your thing, I completely agree. It is about finding the right people to live and breathe the brand. And we as an agency today are constantly faced with this question of you're too large and will we get the same attention? Nokia turned around and told us this. And Jyotsna is a client now. She's the CMO, and she asked me, Alok, you're too big for us, will we get the attention? And I said, no, hang on, we're not so big. I mean, it's not a question of big. So what it did to me was, I went back home and I said, the only way this will work is to make agencies or groups within the agency, right? So there are groups of people who are allocated, and I don't like to call it structure anymore. I now have you cast the right people in the right role, right? And my whole logic was if Diwar was such a big hit, would it be such a big hit if it didn't have Amitabh Bachchan in it, or it was casted with somebody else, right? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have been, but I've started using this casting analogy in my head that this person is right for this kind of a client, right? And that seems to have been working for us till now. So, yeah.
So come to this point, you also mentioned that you said, this copyright in those days, copywriter, art director, whatever it was, blah, blah, he's the guy who lived. But obviously you had to sort of work with them for a period of time to be able to understand who's the right guy. It's not that you take a look and say, Acha, you come, right? Now, but to reach that stage also, you had to go through a process. Okay, what was that process, Rajiv, that you actually went through?
You see, let me give you the example of LG. Or before that, probably Onida. Gopi Kukure.
Yes,
he
yes,
was,
I know. He joined us eventually,
right? And that guy owned the brand. We were eating out of his hand. He was very creative. Gautam used to support him, and Ashok, also, he was a copywriter, and we didn't have to do anything. That's how Onida brand was built, and not many people will imitate. And I remember the second A&M issue, and Srikanth had come and met me, and I had written a case study called The Daredevilry. And in that I admitted, that it was basically Gopi Kukre, who actually made the brand happen. When LG happened at that time, Preet was there, and many other guys were there. But Santosh Sood, he was the account director, our account, and somehow there was a relationship which got set. And not many brands will also acknowledge, but when a brand is launched, so because LG before that was Gold Star in India, and worldwide they were changing to LG. The first marketing guy or the marketing manager of the company or marketing director, he brings in a lot of his personal, aspects towards the building of that, brand personality. And with Santosh, I could, strike that place, and you would not believe there have been meetings where today, you go and discuss with a Karthik or a Namjad, and they were all new guys. They were starting at the at the starting point of their journey in advertising field. Santosh didn't have to complete a sentence, I understood. I didn't have to complete a sentence, Santosh understood. And that was the understanding, and that is what LG, within those first 1 year or 1.5 years, we created. And also one very, very important thing which I want to bring up in this discussion is that now, with advertising agencies having become very large, now, there is a strategy department which is separate. Media itself is, now split, with between so many divisions. It gives the impression of a very fragmented, things where the client may not be able to control what's happening with his brand or the execution of whatever creative strategy has been taken up, and with digital also proliferating and not many people understanding that. So I personally feel that the right way for the agencies is to work with a task force, mentality that when a brand is coming in, you do whatever you want to do at the back end. But to the guy on the other side, and let us also admit that not every marketing manager has the same capabilities. He may or may not be a very evolved brand management or a marketing management guy, so he will bring in a lot of things. So if you want to do a good job as an advertising agency, the team lead and the other resources which you are bringing, there has to be a task force. I have always refused to work with companies which say for this team will come, for this team will come, for this team will come. I am not comfortable at all. I say one person leading that team, you manage everything. But when you come to me, from strategy to execution, there has to be a complete thing which has
So
to
coming
be.
back to the
Yeah.
topic at hand, this rankings,
Yeah.
utility, and so on. So that really never played a role. It was
Never,
much more
never,
chemistry,
never.
it was
Yes.
much more brand ownership,
Yes, yes.
and all that thing. If you remember, Alok, in when we started our business units, that was the whole
Yeah.
perspective in
Yes,
those times.
yes,
And
yes.
digital wasn't even there.
Correct.
The whole point of ownership was actually that. Do you find actually clients telling you, well, I'll give you an example of my own, but do you ever find clients telling you now that, if so-and-so goes, or if that person, you move him to another account, etc., I will be very unhappy, take my business away. How do you respond to that? Because I faced a couple of those things. I'll tell you how I responded to that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one which comes very, very frequently at us. In fact, clients now tell us to ring fence the people,
Yeah.
right? Because businesses move because of the people. It's that intellect. What is our investment into this business? It is the people and the quality of people that we bring in. So yeah, that's a constant challenge. And whilst you can't stop people from going for a better opportunity, but the only way is to have a runner in place as well. You have to have a backup guy all the time who's shadowing that person, so that if that person, and you can't really stop people if they want to move on. There is somebody who's understood at least, if nothing else, half the game, and then does a catch-up job. That's the only way you can. But yeah, business is fragile these days. It moves with people.
So two questions,
Yeah.
and both are provocative actually. When you say that rankings matter,
Yeah.
and you say actually no, also people matter. Of course they do, we know that. But then it means that if X is so important to a client, and X goes to Timbuktu, but your agency is there, right? Your agency is still the FE's agency of the year.
Yeah.
Doesn't that play a role in the client saying, okay, fair enough, so-and-so is gone, Dhoni's retired, but there is somebody else stepping into place, so say, no, sorry, he's gone, so we're going to scout it out. And be part of that question. Have pitches, or the number of pitches increased? I think they have, from what I read, both media and creative pitches. And if so, why?
Yeah, people matter, and the reason you win as well in award shows or FEs is because of the people,
Yeah.
what they did. But you're right. At the end of the day, you're a system, and that guy came to you for the system, right? And there were people who represented that system, and that's how we save ourselves. We are McCann. We can get the people. We can, we quickly get into this whole act of identifying. In fact, we always have a
backup.
have a backup of
Yeah.
where we identify people. I actually meet at least 10, 12 people every month across locations, across departments. I just casually meet them. You never know who's out there. Sorry, what is the second part?
No, the second part was that, when I was also listening so much to you, so
Pitches decreased or
Yeah,
Sorry?
number of pitches.
yeah, number of yeah.
Yeah, they've gone up. They've gone up undoubtedly. We and just sort of the government makes it a lot.
The government, I think that's a separate.
I don't think we should even get that into
The government, I don't think that is the time.
Yeah.
You're talking about normal brands ongoing.
No, pitches have gone up. Businesses have grown. Brands have grown. There are newer sort of industries which have popped up. E-com is one of them, and the digital sort of brands have come.
No, I'm not talking about new business. I'm talking about current clients
Re-pitching.
who may be working with you, and they come up with a new brand
Yeah.
or new line of business, whatever, and they want to pitch, they want a pitch for that,
Yeah.
as opposed to saying we're very happy with McCann or with X or with Y, let's call them
Well,
to
actually,
business.
both happen, Sunil. I mean, depends on your level of relationship with that client. I mean, if I am a big FMCG, I'm Coca-Cola, and I launch another variant, and I have a great relationship, it will come to me. Also, agencies, as you know, work on NPDs for 2 years with clients. So when that thing fructifies, it comes to the agency. You've actually worked on that. So yeah, that's usually.
But you know, in the agency perspective, so let me take you back to LG example, you know, when we were doing it. So after about a year, Lintas started to feel that probably we'll ask for a pitch again and things like that, and they proactively came back and they said, you know, we'll make our Bombay office and the Bangalore office and the Delhi office compete, and we'll ourselves be presenting you free creative routes for new products which you have, and you'll not believe that, right from day one, although they wanted to bring in Balki, I said, I don't want to be stuck to one guy. Let your people compete, like small agencies. And Balki did not work even on a single campaign till the time I was there. Balki started to work on LG thereafter, but I made sure that, like small agencies, within Lintas, the various offices kept on going, and that also made LG stay with Lintas for a long, and of course Capital continued.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that I'm getting out of this, which I mean, we all believe, it's a bit of a conundrum to me.
Yeah, yeah.
That people are critical.
Yes.
And which to my mind then says, oh, the brand itself, which is the
Yeah.
agency or whatever, that plays some role, but not really, because people have moved. I can tell you a couple of examples. When I went down to Bombay, and I was told by our largest client, it was not a very happy relationship at that point in time, and so there was a lot of salvaging to be done. But there were very, very strong likes and dislikes for people. I was told very clearly, I don't want X to work on toothpaste, and Y, whose husband was being transferred to Delhi, I want her to stay on or keep coming back because I want her to work on toothpaste. So I said no.
Yeah.
I said no. I mean, I'm sorry, you are working with us, and if X has to go to Delhi, and you don't want Y, I can guarantee that Y is going to work for you, and we will ensure that the work is good. You cannot have this thing that so-and-so is not good enough for whatever reason, and this thing, I said, you have to give us a chance to do that. And the second thing was, and that happened in Delhi with another very large client of ours, when there was a senior person in our office, who was my account director, and he was promoted to client services director, so you assume everybody wants more responsibility, right? So he was given extra responsibility, and I was called in by not the head client, but the brand head, saying, no, he can't work on that. So I said, why? So he said, no, because he's, aligned to us. I said, no, he's not. He's aligned to us, right? He is working on your brand. And so I asked him a very simple question. I said, tomorrow, you are made, instead of brand manager, marketing manager, will you only continue to work on this brand? No, you work on other brands as well. Silence.
Yeah.
We finally had to go up to the MD.
Oh.
So I'm saying this thing about people, it's important, but to my mind, it's really, I think that if an agency buckles under that pressure, then I think that there is a problem. Now I want to take you through, and I've actually printed it out because this came to me last year. I was asked to be a part of the jury on Campaign India Agency Report Card. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So Prasad, who is, we know each other pretty well. So he said, objective, strategy, and achievements. So this is what we're coming to, utility. It says, agencies, innovation and new initiatives, new business, client retention and relationships, talent retention and development, recognition and awards, and industry contribution. Okay, now these are all fairly vague things. Some of them are finite, some of them are fairly infinite. Remember, what does industry contribution mean, right? So I went through this, and there were about 35 agencies who were presented or written in and sent in reams and reams of stuff. And so it says, we're breaking it down to business performance, innovation and initiatives, the work and awards, and people. I said, okay. So I thought about this and I said two things. One is the smaller agencies, the non-aligned agencies, the non-network agencies are completely at a disadvantage because there is no way that you are competing apples to apples in this one. I said, how can you possibly have something like this? Because if you're talking about innovation and what, I have the wherewithal to be able to do it because I'm XYZ. But if I'm a small agency, I don't have the wherewithal. I may have done some great work, but how am I ever going to come? So he said, yes, we will bring the non-network small agencies report separately. Now here is, and I mean this in all good faith, a very well recognized publication, well respected publication. They do fantastic work in bringing this industry alive, but they have not even thought about this and use a separate lens to judge them. Your inputs are important. I should communicate the same to the rest of the jury. So then I said, therefore, I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one, which are the networked agencies, and two, the other ones, because you cannot possibly compare. So coming back to methodology, that was one very basic thing. Then I said, there is a very big part of this jigsaw missing. Can you guess what it is, Rajiv? Hello? What is, so these are all agencies sending in stuff,
The
right?
consumer
And
perception or effectiveness from the consumer.
The client,
customer.
the client, no, client perspective.
Yeah, which is
Absolutely.
Yeah, the customer, yeah, in that sense, yes, exactly, the customer there. So I said, you know, this is like a schoolboy answering questions about himself.
Little louder.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
This is like a schoolboy answering questions about himself. I'm really great, you know, sir, I'm really this, that, and the other. I said, how could you, I mean, where are you ever going to draw lines? So I said, you must have a client perspective. If you want to have an agency report card, you must have a client perspective. And I'll come to appraise as to why. I mean, I'm not pushing appraise, but I just think it's a fantastic system. And by the way, McCann does work with appraise, so Commonwealth does work with appraise, as you know, in other parts of the world. So I'm saying, here, why is this aspect? And how important is this aspect? Because even the FEs, right, when you're sending in stuff, obviously you're getting details and information from your client as to how the brand did and so on and so forth. Why is this not being incorporated in the ways that people look at how agencies are being ranked or judged in the environment? Alok?
See, the FEs, I think, includes clients because the jury consists of clients. It's actually most clients.
Most clients.
I am not sure about, the pure creative sort of awards like Cannes, where if clients are invited as part of the jury. I'm not very clear about that. I don't think they are. It's only agency.
And which is another point I'm going to come to in the awards thing, that it's the same guys, as they used to say, we take in each other's washing in that very small island.
No, even Goa Fest is built on that premise,
Well,
because
we
I
will come.
participated a
Yeah.
couple of times,
Yeah.
and then I said no.
Yeah.
Because, it's the same old
Same
faces,
old
and I don't
yeah.
want to name those faces.
No, we'll come to that. Tamas. We'll come to awards later. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so I think clients are included, and I think that's hugely important. That the people that you're creating work for
Absolutely.
have to have a say in if you're good or bad. They have a say when they sack you if you're bad, but they have to have a say. I think the brand equity agency reckoner includes clients.
Yes, it does.
But you're right. I mean, I think clients are hugely important.
Rajiv?
You see, if agencies of the same size with similar number of clients, right, and similar ability of the clients, the person who is ranking from the client side is there, then subjectivity probably is slightly lesser. So 10 clients ranking, X agency, and 10 clients ranking another agency, and more or less the same parameters, and of course the understanding of those parameters on the client side to rate. So subjectivity is there. So to me, I think, and that is why I chose the word consumer. So when we had Lintas, let me give you the LG example again. We simply worked on the Curd model, right? So knowledge, esteem, relatability, and differentiation, and we benchmarked Sony, and LG was Korean at that point in time, and the original strategy was, which I turned upside down, saying that we'll position it as a German brand. I said, no way, it has to be positioned as a Korean brand. No line, nothing like that. And then we said we'll, measure regularly the difference which today we are here and Sony is here, and how do we
How we close that gap?
close that gap? And for me, that was the measure, and as long as we kept on improving on it,
Yeah.
Lindas were performing. No, it was not performing. So I think if
business performance.
if business performance from the consumer, if your advertising is having, because the reason of existence of any advertising agency, you can save money in media. Okay, that is a side benefit you're getting. But whatever
That's
money
not
you're
the
spending,
exactly. Yeah.
the
Is
reason
it being
of-
spent well?
Yes, it's being spent well, and you are having an impact on the consumer's mind. So, according to me, if agencies have to be ranked, they must be ranked on the brands which they have created in the minds of the consumers, and whether the clients are happy with the brands which got created, right, and what they wanted to create.
Okay. That's actually brought me to a topic that's very, very close to my heart.
Yeah.
You know, Alok and I have been in advertising for many years. Sujit has been, Kaposh is still, and all that. We take many ideas to a client, Alok, right? But they don't always buy the one that we think is the right one.
Yeah.
So eventually, what goes into the market or public consciousness is the one that they have actually bought. I'm saying that in inverted commas, right? How does that impact the way that you look at the way that communication has worked, not worked? Have you ever tried to think about saying, okay, if we do a small sort of, a test of something, saying that this is going to work, we believe this is going to work better than that is going to work, and all that, or are you happy to go with the flow? I mean, do you think that that really impacts the way that your agency is able to perform, or agencies are able to perform in the marketplace? Well, how do you counter something like
There
that?
is no right or wrong, Sunil. It's, sometimes you have 100% conviction behind something. You know it will work, but the guy on the other side doesn't sort of. And in my experience, clients buy conviction. They don't really buy an idea. So that's my experience. I don't think many clients even understand what an idea is.
I agree fully. I agree.
Well done, well done, well done, well done.
I agree.
So they buy conviction. Sometimes, you go with 2 or 3 options or whatever, and I must confess, there are times where I've turned around to a client and the client will always ask you, what is your recommendation? That's for sure.
Yeah.
And you sort of put your hand on one and he buys the other one.
Yeah.
And the only way to sort of humor yourself in your head or to the client is, they're all my babies, you can choose. It's okay.
Or you know the client that whatever you say, he will not buy
You buy that one,
one,
you
so
put
you
the
buy
other
the other
one.
one.
It's like the guy who always says yes and the guy who always says no. Yeah.
So both happen.
Well, you know the famous story about nothing official about it.
Yes.
Right? You know that story, right? When we took it, it was booted out of the window so bloody fast. And then, of course, lucky circumstances where certain people were transferred somewhere and the other people saw the merit.
Yeah.
But that's, see, that is luck.
Yes, yes.
That is
Absolutely.
nothing. However convinced you might be about something, and we were convinced,
Yeah.
right? And look at where
Yeah,
brands,
it was
Pepsi
an-
might have been
yeah.
or not might have been,
Because-
if something like this happened.
Yes,
And that is my point, that the role of the client
It's
in-
critical to this whole thing.
in being
Yes, yes,
able to
absolutely.
determine what work that the
Yes.
agency can.
Yes.
And that is why we've said, why hire a dog and bark
Yeah.
yourself. We've said this
Yeah.
so often. Nikhil Nehru used to tell me the first thing,
Yeah.
this is what our whole thing is and all that.
Yeah.
Of course, Mr. Ghoshal, bless his soul, used to say, buy anything but buy from us, Don't go anywhere else, but just buy from us. So, I
No,
think-
you're right. I mean, there have been instances, I must confess, where an idea hasn't been bought, but we feel really strongly about the fact that it will work for the brand.
Yeah.
And not very often, because agencies don't want to incur their own, spend their own money.
Yeah.
But you go out and
Yeah.
test it on your own money.
Exactly.
And go and tell the client that, listen, I have consumer validated it.
Yeah.
And has the client ever changed his mind after seeing
Yes.
something?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yes.
good. That's,
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
I think in fact.
And there are instances where they've paid for what you invested in.
There
fact.
you are. Now, for a client like that,
Yeah.
you'd walk over broken glass.
Yeah.
That's it. Frankly, then rankings to me and all don't matter.
Yes.
Is whether that client and you actually has the trust in you.
Yes.
The
To
relationship.
my mind, so I'm coming to the rankings in my mind is trust.
Yeah.
Okay, whether you have $25 million or you have $2 million, you can have $25 million from network business. Nothing in terms of local business, right? So one way of looking at it is you subtract all your aligned business, because that is you're lucky to bloody have it, right? And then you look at what you've got locally, And then you look at other metrics like things like per capita, blah, 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 etc., etc. But even that, to my mind, is a big of a black hole because there are so many variables in the communication business today. And how do you take out, you can't separate digital, right? Because it's so much a part of everything else that you're doing. You know, and everybody talks digital. So really, when we come to rankings, I think one of the key things is how clients are viewing their agencies. Good clients, I'm not talking about...
Absolutely. I think this is the point that I had raised in my article also, that it is also the relationship, the number of... You see, how do you determine a client-agency relationship? It is also through the only measurement of that. You know, we all say that, you know, our clients have great trust in us, and if you make the client, if you send him a questionnaire, you all say, yeah, of course I trust my agency. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. But it also depends on the number of years that a client has spent. I'm not talking about the global businesses, because I'm giving you a perspective which is purely Indian businesses. We have a few, one or two businesses which are multinationals, but perspective is of Indian businesses. There are a couple of clients we have worked for 21 years. I mean, we have stepped into the 21st year. We have a couple of businesses, and they have, you know, we fight. The clients and us have grown up together. I mean, from what they were 20 years back, 20 crore business, today, how much would the FM be? About 650, 700 crores. We have also grown. But it's like two brothers growing up together. There's obviously a trust, yes, and I take this point that how this trust has been built is that we also have our conviction. And the client often takes campaigns which are not the ones we would put our hand and our heart into it. We tell them we'll research it. Then they say, no, but why do you want to spend the money? We'll research it. So it becomes a, you know, mutual this thing. At times we research, they research. Most of the times they go for the research.
Most of the times they go for the research themselves.
So,
Certain times if there is a huge kind of a polar opposite kind of a view, then sometimes we put our foot forward. And then, but more often than not, they will be the ones who will be saying that that's all right, we'll go with your conviction and test it out.
yes.
At least test it out. After that, it's obviously then a matter of what the consumer likes or doesn't like.
Now I want to ask the younger crowd now, both Amar and, does this issue of ranking, because you don't belong to a generation we do, does this bother you? Does this make any difference to your life? Amar, you worked, he's an ex-JWite. You worked in Sunil's time or after that?
No, I was there in 2005, so
Oh, God, well after that. Yeah.
under Rohit Ovi, sir.
Well, after me as well.
So that, you see, the reason why I brought in the two younger guys is that, you know, while we can all debate it strongly, but they are the guys who are deeply into the market. I am not, like, not that I'm retired, I still have to, by default, run a business, but these guys are out in the market. And let's hear your perspective, Amar.
So when we did step out of college and we were looking for agencies and we were running around agencies, I mean, there were the top guys who obviously were top of mind, like HTA and Mudra, and that was also because of the rankings that we would read at that time. Mudra was right up there, I think R.K. Swami was up there. And so these were the agencies we were looking for until we spoke to some of our lecturers who sometimes advised us only in the creative team to work with the right people. So they also mentioned a few agencies which were down the ladder but still had a creative name. So one of those agencies was Dharan Hoon. So I met Mr. Abhinav Dhar there, and I really liked him when I met him, and I was like,
all these names just going around. Memories come.
Ajit Hoon and...
yeah. So Mr. Dhar was a lot of fun. I was like, I have to work with this man someday in my life.
87, 88 type, no? Or was it later?
No, Dharan Hoon was
That was very
2001.
much in HT when I was there. He left in about 95.
95, so 95,
yeah.
97. Okay.
But this is 2001 when he started
Yeah.
Dharan Hoon. So thank God he kind of liked some of my work, and the interview went fine. And he was like, okay, you join as a trainee, and I worked there for a while. And in just a few months, I kind of felt like those rankings right now don't matter at all, because I'm having so much fun, I'm loving the work I'm doing. And the things that came out of him, the things that I kind of absorbed were absolutely meaningful, and they really worked for me later on when I did step into JWD after a few years. The thing that I realized when I went to JWD from Dharan Hoon, obviously there was size and it was a very different world altogether, but I never felt underconfident. I was really confident, and I joined as creative director. So it was all because of what I had learned from an agency which was quite mid-sized at the time. and then stepping into an agency which at that time I think was the single largest office in India, JW Daily at that time. But suddenly there was a time when there was this emergence of O&M in the rankings, and it was all, that's what we thought was because of the creativity they've been coming out with Fevicol and Centerfresh and all. So we thought it's all about creatives now. So it's not about the billings, because we're supposed to be the number one in terms of billings in JWT. So that was one time when ranking suddenly became a little important again. Because being a creative guy, I want to be with the number one creative agency, and they're also up there in the rankings. For a while, we scampered for awards and all, but as I became mature, I kind of realized that individual awards should not be the only criteria for an agency to be ranked highly. Because there are guys who are moving all the time, first of all. And a lot of guys who go for awards are also going for their individual growth. To have a better portfolio, to have a better name in the industry. So, for that to matter, for an agency to become number one, should not be one of the top 3 criteria. That's what I started thinking. But then when I joined BI conference after about 5 years in JWT, the rankings kind of just faded away, because I suddenly realized that responsibilities and clients, and those are things that really drive me right now. And with this new set of responsibilities and working with some extremely passionate people, I mean really, really passionate people, those rankings just kind of faded away until TG wrote that article. So
They came bouncing back in your
TG will not be understood, so you mentioned my name. TG is my
We
nickname.
call him
Yeah.
Mr. Gupta.
Mr. Gupta.
Tapash.
So how are your times? What-
How's the time doing? We have got another 10 minutes.
Oh, excellent. So
10 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Abhishek,
Yeah.
you want to add something? Because I want to come to awards.
Yeah.
slowly,
I'll give you a very quick and a very ironic situation. I spent a lot of time with Ogilvy, and one of my primary showcase accounts was Sprite. And Sprites, in terms of every year when the FEs were around the corner, you always had multiple options in terms of what kind of a case you want to build, whether it's the longest running campaign, that whole clear hair positioning, or how it's evolving from every 5 years to every 6 years, how the campaign evolves and the brand core doesn't change. So there was a situation when during the September, right from September till about December, all the action on Coca-Cola happens in terms of the next year's big campaign. So we were at a stage when the major part of the work was happening, and it was also the times when we were writing a lot of case studies for awards. The planners were working overtime. I was heading the Sprite, Kinley and the Fanta business, so I was also given and I had a long stint with Sprite, so I knew the brand inside out quite well. So again, like planners were coming and planners were going, so I could be the continuity factor. So I was called in as a special SOS situation to sit down and contribute and start putting data and start helping out on the case. What was happening was that I was giving my entire attention by default to the awards rather than actually getting the work for the campaign done. That was suddenly my priority number 2, because it was that glory that you'd want to go for, because Sprite has been with us for the longest time. We're not going to lose it just like that, but we need to get that number 1 spot in the FEs, because otherwise McCann's going to get that spot. So that was an ironic situation where the client, knowing the passion that Ogilvy brings on board, was, in a way, somewhere or the other, trying to ask these questions that, are you really preoccupied, Abhishek, tere paas, have you got some more new businesses? It wasn't, but it was actually the race for the awards that was actually capturing a lot of time. Also, so that's one situation where, where internally as an agency person, you want to run after that glory, because it's that glory that you want to get. The campaign, we are doing it every year. So, I mean, I'm going to, of course, do a great campaign the next year. But that top dog spot mattered a lot at a point in time, because that was the culture overall in a large format agency, that you have to go for it. Whether you die, whether your regular clients' work is affected or not, obviously nobody at a branch head level will say that. But it was implied that, you have to go for that glory spot. उसके लिए whatever you have to do, you do, right?
Yes, yeah, we understand.
That's number one. Number two, in a large format, again, system where you're handling a business for a long period of time, at times there are these, not at times, there are so many sharper, passionate small shops that have cropped up, and they are all the time interacting with the larger clients. What are they winning on sometimes? How are they winning their hearts? They're winning their hearts through passion, not through an agency ranking per se, or not a lot of great work to show, but they are going in, giving them multiple pitches, etc., etc. So when the client is having a problem with a larger agency, they're not going to upfront, damage the equation, because certain times you're globally aligned and things like that. But they will take a small chunk from you and give it to a small shop. They'll take another small chunk from you, give it to somebody else, test it out with somebody else. That you get to hear that, well, you're doing the large campaign, but we are getting a specialized retail agency who specializes in retail signages to do this. Guess what? After a period of 4 to 5 years, the entire chunk of that retail POS has actually gone from that large agency. And then you're doing only the big large film, and you're doing one large big positioning idea, and your small bits and pieces, your digital has gone to some digital hot shop, your little POS has gone to somebody else. But that's how it's coming out. So from a client's point of view, when you kind of leave that organization and you move to another place and you have a cup of coffee later with the clients that you work for a long period of time, they say it's your passion that matters at the end of the day. If there is a little glitch that I want to get corrected, I'm not going to keep spending my time over and over and over again with an Ogilvy. I'd rather just tell them that, boss, I'll just get this work done by somebody else. So agency rankings to them at that point in time won't matter.
Yeah. Well, I suggest you don't go close to the Ogilvy office for supply.
Actually, just to sort of, so I agree on something and I completely disagree on something.
Yeah, not with Ogilvy, so it doesn't matter.
No, I'm not with Ogilvy, and I'm surprised that he mentioned that they want to beat McCann all the time.
Oh, there you are.
That's besides the point. The fact is, there are so many clients, almost 80% of our clients actually tell us,
Yeah, we want to win it.
यार इस बार FE जीतना है, इस बार कांस जीतना है. So they actually put the pressure on the agency to go out in a minute. So
that does happen, but not at the cost of their work
course
getting
not.
compromised. I think that's
They don't expect you to.
It's not your regular job.
They don't expect you to shut off on the work and
Yeah.
win.
No,
FA.
it's
They,
a nice-
they expect you to do both.
It's your night job. You've got
See,
to do it.
I'll give you one of my examples in McCann's when I was in. We had just won the Coca-Cola business from Alex Lintas. That time, both of us had pitched. We were small as Tarasina McCann Rakes in those days. But you know something? We became complacent. This was in Sorab's time when Tara moved up. Tara was very passionate. Sorab wasn't so much passionate. Sorab was more of a businessman. And I was heading the Delhi office that time. I had to take the blame. We lost the business of Coca-Cola, what Abhishek was saying, the small agency, to Equus. Suhail took away the business of Coca-Cola for Bengal. And I felt ashamed being a Bengali. He did a full campaign behind our back because we were complacent. We were trying to thoko them the international Coca-Cola campaign, which we researched. Even the client was also very insistent on that, but it wasn't somehow working. And then Suhail, knowing Suhail, we all know him, how he works. So he networked with the Coca-Cola head. I think that time Nitin Jalvi or somebody was there, or Jay Raja was the country head. He got the Bengal business. I felt ashamed as a Bengali. But he ran it for 2 years, but he couldn't sustain it. It came back to us. And then we lost the business to, that was after my time, to Leo Burnett for some time, I think. We did lose the business. There was probably some global alignment, that's right.
Yeah, but that's a different reason.
Huh.
I think the
No, but
point
I'm
is-
saying the point I'm making is that, at that point of time, the complacency, and also we were chasing awards. That was another reason. So all of us, whether you come from McCann's or all of us in our business are vulnerable all the time.
Yeah, okay, so very quickly, I know that we're short on time, but you guys go with awards, right? That's the other part.
And a prize. I'd like to know a little
A
more
little
about
bit,
that.
I'll tell you very quickly because you've already said 3 words that actually sum up a praise, but we'll come to that. So coming back to awards, now we all love awards, right? We all used to say Agency of the Year, etc., and awards, etc. But we find now, for instance, at Goa Fest, that insofar as I have read, I've never been there, that there are various agencies who boycott for whatever reasons, good, bad, indifferent. Doesn't that devalue the awards itself?
Actually, Goa Fest, in our minds, haven't added any value to
Well, there you go.
Absolutely.
I think you've been very
Yeah.
polite.
Yeah, so we don't even enter them.
So here you are. So here is a living example. Like,
You don't enter them because, like I said, it's a conscious choice of which award you want to enter.
yeah.
Because it's money. It's money.
Absolutely.
Your own money going
Time.
into that,
Absolutely.
and time and all of those
Huge.
things, right? Secondly, this whole thing about scam ads, who's judging who, you scratch my back in this category, I'll scratch your back in that category. All that is happening over there. I mean, there are some good, genuine pieces of work, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's more of a advertising.
Mutual admiration society.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
also it's like,
I've been-
it's a place you go to and the youngsters have fun.
Yeah. No, Rajat, give us your perspective. You must have been a part of all this in some point of
Many,
time.
juries, and when you actually sit and discuss with people, they don't know that category. They don't know what was the objective.
Yeah.
Then suddenly the people who are organizing the awards, or the rankings, they will come, oh no, we have very less time, let's rush it up.
Yeah.
Something which is to be done over a period of 8 hours, you kind of crunch it in 2 hours. No justice gets done.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, it's all subjectivity. So to
And
me,
it's a business model, so because
young impressionable
money
minds,
is
money
feel
is
that
huge.
It's
massive.
huge,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And there in India now there is Goa Fest, there's Curious, there are I don't know how many hundreds of them.
And then there are the international ones.
And
the
then the
Spikes,
international.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, where are you going to put your money?
Yeah. It's like the film awards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's this Filmfare award, there's some
Zee
IFA
Cinema,
award,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
Zee
yeah.
Cinema award, and everybody goes, you do song and dance also.
and they're not transparent. So, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
if I was to tell, I remember once in your time, we had threatened Delhi Art Club.
Yeah, yes.
Some we
Such
won't
as it
enter.
was.
Yeah, we won't enter. And suddenly we saw Delhi Art Club scampering because, my God, this revenue is not going to come to us.
I personally feel,
Let's give them agency of the year.
the original objective of, say, the Advertising Agencies Association of India or the ad club, awards or the various ad clubs itself, right, was basically to raise the level
of creativity,
of the surveys,
Or
of
learn.
standards, etc., etc. I think it's almost become like the UN.
Yeah.
Right? Now today, I think if and it's high time, that maybe the association gets together again, sane heads get together again. They start to, look at these things afresh. 30, 40 years ago, people looked at, founding these associations, etc. The time is right now to probably relook at some of these things which are really,
Purely,
Yeah.
I'll give you a practical perspective. I have been on the 3 years of I committee for about 6
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Then I resigned. Not because of anything else. The reason is that there has what I used as in my article, if you've read my article, the words cozy club. There's a cozy club, I'm not going to name people, but there is a cozy club of people that have, and what you said, Sunil, rightly was, scratching the back of each other. I attended
No, but
two Goa.
Tapash, I think I get your point, but I think what I'm trying to say is now it's time again
Yeah,
for
to-
people
to-
to rise above,
to break that
you
circle.
break that
Yeah.
circle,
Yeah,
somewhere,
exactly.
Let me tell you something,
Yeah,
Rajiv.
yeah.
People like me who are struggling to run an agency,
Yeah.
even Alok who's working very hard to take McCann to its next
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
we don't have the time to do it, frankly.
No, that's where Ollie's comes in, I just want to say that.
No,
that's
I'm
where
saying
actually the round table comes in, and this is
No,
all
no,
part
so
of that.
therefore, you see, none of us have the time.
Yeah.
You see, there are some people who have, and I shall again not name people, who
Yeah.
have grown to a level where they completely delegated. Let me
Yeah.
tell you that after 20 years, we may be called a middle-sized agency, but we are still struggling to survive. Every day there's a pitch. We are now pitching with the big boys, the middle boys, the smaller boys, and the levels of pitching and other things
Yeah.
have gone up so intensely. Even our existing clients, there's always a threatened threatening quotient.
Yeah.
Whoever, because we don't have aligned clients that, you know, if they move globally, they will move from you also. We have local clients who are.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, well, again, just so my whole point about awards is that they're nice, but are they really essential? It's nice to stand up in black t-shirts and wave at people, right? But having said that, where do you go from there? Nevertheless, awards are always awards. You want to come first, you want to come second, you want your thing. I keep coming back to Cannes, where you have, Campaign of the Year, Lead India. I keep thinking that you've got to go forward and say, where did that ever go? You may have won that big one, that whatever, the Golden Lion or whatever it was at that point in time. Where did you actually take it? Did it go somewhere? I think Cannes itself should look at something like this, because it was not a one-off thing. Lead India is something that is a very, very deep-rooted movement, right? And we know what's happening today. Okay, so coming back to 3 points that you made, and they're very good points, you see. Relationships, client-agency relationships, right? What are the gaps in perception between the agency and the client, and what are the benchmarks? There are 3 things that Appraise actually does, and we've been doing it for 20 years across the globe with many clients and agencies, obviously with clients and agencies. We believe 2 things. One is equality. Clients and agencies are equal. If that equality does not exist, you don't have a good relationship to start with. But if you agree that it is an equal relationship, then you have the ability through Appraise, through a patented system that we have, to be able to talk to each other about it, right? And talk to each other in a very frank, open and objective way. The way that it's structured is both objective and subjective. It covers every aspect of it. It covers the softer aspects, which is what we call values, and it both client and agencies. You rank each other. Now, there are very few clients and agencies who will have a relationship where they're open with each other. And I know that it's really terrible to talk about this, but it's like any relationship. You want a relationship to grow. You want to know where you stand, right? As you say, today there's what I might call a TQ, a threatening quotient. Why should that be there? I'm in a sense, I'm very glad I'm out of this advertising business, because I would hate it if every time I had to go to bed and think, Rajiv, he wasn't very happy with me today. I'll take him a coffee tomorrow, and all. That's not the way I want to live business, right? I want to live it professionally. I've always lived it as far as I could. And that's what I want. I said the client-agency relationships are professional. Whether people come or go, and that is the basic point we make, that people will come and go. On the client side, people will come and go. On the agency side, people will come and go. What continues? What is the continuum? It's the brand. And that, if you feel that that brand is very important to you, then you are able to keep that one. And we come out with what we call an Appraise score, right, of the client and the agency. And there are global benchmarks, there are industry benchmarks, there are agency network benchmarks, there are, you name it, that benchmarks.
And it's an on-track thing. So
we do it every 6 months. And therefore you measure the changes, actual concrete changes between. And the important thing is that if new people come in, they have a benchmark to look at, rather than how they feel about that person, how they feel about that agency, because it's there in black and white. That this is the way that the relationship is currently. These are the pressure points, these are the good things, because they're good things as well, that's why you're working. How do we improve them? And I can tell you, there have been instances, and I've done this now across many countries, right? I've done it in India, I've done it in Pakistan, I've done it in Malaysia, I've done it in the Middle East, I've done it in Africa, in different countries, for different clients. We have found situations where the relationship is so bad, it is unbelievably bad. I mean, on a scale of 100, the ranking is 20. 20. 20. Can you imagine how bad that relationship is? Within 2 years, because you've actually sat and talked about it openly, we actually have sessions which I moderate or the Appraise head moderates, so that nobody feels that it's you against me, right? It's there. That 20 has actually gone up to 70. And that 70 is given by each of you, the client and the agency. It's not anybody else giving it. It's not Appraise giving it, it's you. So if you feel that this is a problem, it is a problem. And if it's not a problem, you say it. And if you say it's a problem, then you have an opportunity of being able to rectify or justify or say, by the way, this is what happened. And both client and agency take that on board. And to my mind, it is something, and I've recommended this actually to Campaign in the particular note I wrote them. I said, we can actually structure a system for you which factors in everything that the agency wants to say, everything the client wants to say. You put it together and you get an objective score at that point of time, which you build upon, and you see it how it is moving every year. So to my mind, yes, rankings, everybody likes a pecking order, right? And that's why it's called a pecking order. We won't say why pecking, but pecking order, right? Are important because everybody wants to know where you stand. I think that's a fair thing to say. The only thing is it being measured and judged and received in the right way? Is it being approached in the right way? I think that is the other thing that we need to look at. There's one suggestion that I have, and at the end of the day, I think what I'll sum up with, if you allow me to sum up, is that it's not how big it is, it's how well you use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think this particular session is going to be a bit of a problem for us who handle the Ollies and the ad adda, simply because I think a new benchmark has been set, and that's and for once it was not just a bunch of old boys sitting down and ranking.
Young boys also,
young boys also coming in.
And younger boys.
Younger boys coming in. So that's number one. Number two, I think for anybody in the business of advertising, and I just saw Shubhabruta Ghosh and Kishore Chakraborty, ex of McCann, they were online just now, they were watching. Not just for them, but for the whole lot of youngsters coming into advertising. I think this has been more of a classroom session, but more importantly, some of the rules that we have discussed in terms of not just ranking, I mean, that's there. Whether it's good, bad, that's not the question. The question is this question of the client-agency equation and the relationship and the score of it, which is the ultimate value in terms of the agency-client business. I think that has now, as you said, Rajiv, who takes it forward? As y'all are saying that y'all are still in the business, Alok and Taposh, and he's doing this act of playing the moderator or the counselor. So probably we need to, as you said, 30 years ago, there were these bodies which took off to improve the business of advertising. Today, again, I think we have come to a stage where we need to recharge that whole process. And maybe one of the reasons we never thought that when Sudeep and I sat down on a Sunday afternoon in the Calcutta Club balcony and we decided let's have Ollies. And why Ollies? Because it is the most important pub in the history of advertising in Kolkata. So that's how Ollies came up. But now we suddenly see that Ollies has probably been assigned a much bigger and a serious role to play. Please write in with your comments. This will be up on YouTube soon, and we'll get back to you on the next such adda, that whenever it happens. Thank you, Taposh. Thank you for giving us the space. And Sunil, the fact that you are a commentator, sports commentator and an actor, I think that all added up to this, the way the whole thing was conducted.
I practice in front of the mirror.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Super. Thank you.